In this video, we are going to create the handle for Thor's hammer, which looks like this here. We'll do this part later, and we'll do the leather strap later as well, but we are going to create this component here with the metal rings on it. It's fairly straightforward, and in Blender, you'll see that I've actually already done it here. I've got it hidden. That is because I created the video and then deleted it by accident. So we'll add in a mesh, a cylinder. Okay, this cylinder here, I'm actually going to leave it at the default size, that's fine. And I'm going to scale it up along the Z-axis. I am going to turn this off though. I don't want to have anything on the top or bottom because we're never going to see that. And we should be as optimal with our models as possible by hiding faces that we don't need. It will also make unwrapping things easier later on. Now, what some of you might immediately do when you heard me say scale it along the Z-axis is hit S and then Z, and you'll scale it up like that, which is mostly fine until it comes to applying materials to this, and then it's going to be quite annoying. So we'll have to reset the values of that. I can see over here, this is the N panel, that this is scaled up to 8. We don't actually want that. The better way to do the scaling is to go into edit mode and scale it up that way, like so. That stays 111. But if, however, you do happen to change that, you can always hit Control A and apply the scale. I'll just bring it back to there. That's 111 now. That's the easy part. Then we're going to go into here. We are going to select this top ring here. Now, how did I select all of those rings, that whole ring at once? There's a shortcut key when you select an edge. If you hold Alt and click on that edge, it will select everything in that's kind of connected to it in a ring. So that's really cool. I'm going to hit E and then S, scale this out a little bit, then E and then bring it up along the Z axis. Not sure why that went kind of freeform for me. And then I'll scale it out like that. Next, I'm going to apply a smooth shade to it, and I'm going to add an edge split modifier. Now, I'll explain that. What's happening here is this edge here should be quite hard. It should be able to just kind of bend around and look like a proper edge, but it's not. So we need to add an edge split. We can just click apply straight on that because all this does is add some seams around here that more creases and marks those as sharp for the renderer. Say no, this is not meant to be smooth here. This is a sharp edge. Okay, so that's our handle pretty much done, and we'll rename it handle. You can push F2 to rename an object, and I can rename it handle. Then we're going to add in another, in object mode, we're going to add in another mesh, a cylinder. Again, this is also going to have nothing on it, and I'm going to go into, zoom in on it, SZ. I'm going to go straight into tab, edit mode, scale it down along the Z axis so it's pretty thin, and scale it up a little bit like that. Then we're going to add a modifier called solidify. It's going to give it some thickness, turn that thickness up. Doesn't really matter how far, as long as it goes into the model in this case. Now you'll notice that on the previous one that I did, if I just bring it back, there they are. They've got this, it's got this bit that comes down, just like in the image here. Now, that's what we're going to do with this ring here. I'm actually going to scale this down a little bit more. I'll turn off those previous ones. But I could pick any one of these edges to do it with. But in case I want to do something with it later, I'm going to actually stick to these axes. There may be another way to kind of modify things and scale things along axes, or make it change the way the axes are rotated, but I'm just going to keep it simple and scale it along this axis here, or bring this down. I'm going to turn on proportional editing, which is O, shortcut key is O, and I'm going to hit G now and S and scale that down to about there. Now this ring on the outside is kind of where the proportional part is being grabbed, so I'll kind of make it look maybe like that, and that's pretty good. Now with that done, I'm going to move it all the way down to the bottom here, and I'm going to add another modifier, I can minimize that one, called an array modifier. The default is that it wants to array along the X axis, but I don't want it to. I want it to array along the Z axis, so this is X, Y, Z. And I'm probably going to go 3 along the Z axis, maybe even 2.5. Maybe 2 point, maybe only 2. We'll have a look in a sec. And then I'm going to give it a count. It's going to go all the way up just into there. 2.1 looks pretty good. I'm not sure what I used on the previous one, about the same. 2.1 looks pretty good. And we will apply smooth shade to that, and once again edge split, and you can immediately apply the edge. No, didn't like that. Oh, because it's still got the array and stuff on it. So you can just leave that edge split on there, and it looks like that. We've got the handle. In the next video, we are going to add in the hammer head, and we are also going to add in the top of that. So that's pretty easy. That's just a cylinder. Easy peasy.